Hello, hello. Today we're going to talk about anime, and more specifically, tourists or new people, and how they mesh with just the anime community in general. Now, I liked anime for quite some time. I started off with watching like some of the weirdest shit, Kiss X Sis, Tokyo Ghoul, Sword Art Online. Some of those to get you started off with, unlike when I first entered into the anime medium, I guess you could say, the medium of entertainment. And I'll have to say, I liked it, though Kiss Axis was certainly unique. And I was watching this when it was like 12, so yeah, you know where my head was going. But besides the point, obviously, anime is pretty fucking weird. I think we can all agree on that. And for essentially all the people who, you know, got into anime and grew up with it, because I grew up with it in terms of like total, Miyazaki's works and Ghost in the Shell and other stuff because my dad had that on DVD. Um, but after, I guess you could say, 2010s into now, like 2015 all the way up to now, I guess you could say you would have this massive influx of people who apparently like the medium now but don't like everything about it and have zero respect for like some of the classics and just some of the nuances with the anime community, such as the concept of a lolly. Now, I never really been all too big into lollies, but like this whole conversation about whether they're a child or not is kind of stupid. From my understanding, from what a lolly is, it's always been the concept of the petite body type in and whatnot. It's never been specifically that they're childlike. Now, that does play a component with a lot of lolly characters, but you also have the inverse called lolly baba, which is essentially a small little person that looks like they're a kid, but actually acts like a fucking grandma. That hence the name lolly baba. But like, bro, I cannot tolerate this concept of, oh, we're new people in here and we get to decide what's okay and what's not okay. Even though, most of these people have been dogging on anime, and people who watched anime in like fucking 2000, you know, all the way in those early years of the 2000s, like, oh, you watch anime, nerd? Go fuck yourself. That is stupid. Fuck those people. Fuck them. They're the pussies. They're the losers, alright? They didn't get to enjoy interesting and entertaining media. And, like, to me, it's, like, fucking confusing when you're trying to enter into a new medium that you don't fully understand, and now you're criticizing everyone who's enjoying it and who's been in it longer than you have, and you're trying to say, well, we're the new fans and we get to decide how everything is laid out and set up. And don't even get me started on the whole idea of, the fan service. Now, I can understand that, some people just don't like fan service, and that's okay. And I think there are plenty of anime that, generally speaking, take itself quite seriously. But there's also a shit ton of anime that just doesn't take itself seriously, and you just have all the fucking fan service. Like, there is a fair criticism to say that there is unwarranted fan service, and the story's bad, but there's also fan service, but the story's good. I know plenty of anime that have a lot of fan service, but my god, the story is like absolute dog shit. Uh, it's so bad. But then you have people who, like, tend to just fucking obfuscate everything about anime and say, well, this is weird. You can't enjoy this piece of media because, oh, it has this, or it's not like socially acceptable to have these characters say this. You know, for example, like the localization bullshit where Western localizers who were trying to translate the subtitles and make them into English that makes sense. So it's not a literal translation, but it's a translation that makes sense in the context of the anime of each and every episode. But you have all these fucking people trying to change it to suit their desires, their political leanings, or whatever, their feelings, whatever. It's to accommodate them instead of actually being honest and consistent with what exactly is being portrayed in the piece of media, and that is an anime episode. Like, fuck me. Like, trying to involve, like, politics in anime is just stupid. It's so fucking stupid. I feel like a lot of people left, traditional Western media in, the West when it started to be politicized so fucking overtly that it was just literal political propaganda. And now you have all these localizers trying to do the same thing. Some people are okay with it because, that's just who they are, but there are other people who just want it to be left the fuck alone, and I'm on that side of leaving it the fuck alone. For example, was it Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is very infamous, infamous sort of event where a localizer fucking actively changed how one scene was translated, and it got translated way out of context that made no fucking sense, and essentially they politicized it, and it pissed off a lot of people, and rightfully so. Why should we have to deal with dishonest translation of a piece of media? That's just wrong. I'm not fucking interested in that. But back on pace, like, these fucking losers who essentially just invade into the space, they're fucking normies. They don't understand the crazy shit that goes on. Do you think a lot of these fuckers, like, seriously like Dragon Ball? I bet you, like, half these people fucking don't know shit about Dragon Ball. Now, I'll be frank, I'm not a super big Dragon Ball guy. I remember watching Dragon Ball Z when it was, like, a kid on TV. Was it on, like, Nicktoons or something like that, if I recall? Like, even I'm not, like, so deeply versed in Dragon Ball, but even I understand. It's like, okay, Dragon Ball is its own thing. It's got epic fights where you beat the shit out of each other, and you don't really need to think all too much about it. It's a lot of beating the shit out of each other. And, you have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, though I am remiss to say that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is, like, the best thing ever. Now, it's really good, but I feel like people have oversaturated the market when it comes to essentially giving JoJo's Bizarre Adventure praise. Like, I like JoJo. Trust me, I like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I fucking watched that shit. I loved it. I love was it Volume 3? Chapter 3, whatever you call it, Stardust Crusaders. One of my favorite parts of that, where it's just so fucking absurdly ridiculous of all the fights and just how interesting it was. Like, it was very entertaining. It was very entertaining. I do not deny that, but were there a lot of normies that got into it because of all the memes and shit? Oh yeah, totally. Abso-fucking-lutely. But is that so terrible? I wouldn't say so. It's getting people interested, but that's the thing. It's okay to have new people come in and enjoy a piece of media, but it's a completely different thing where they start deciding, no, you can't do this, no, this offends my sensibilities and whatnot. It's like, if you don't like it, then fuck off. Like, that's my entire thing is if you don't like this particular thing, you don't have to engage with it. The problem is a lot of these fucking people actively engage in it and try and force everyone to adhere to their standard. And it's like, well, who the fuck are you? You're the new guy. You haven't even watched like something like fucking Death Note. What right do you have to fucking decide this shit? Get the fuck out of here, pussy. I bet you haven't even seen Akira or any of the classics. Like, it's been a while since I last watched like a lot of the classics, but you know, I got the DVDs still. But I remember watching it as a kid. All those DVDs of like fucking Miyazaki's movies. But you know, a lot of these people just don't fucking get it. They got a head up their ass, their own head up their ass, man. And they fucking criticize people for liking something that they've liked for fucking decades. It's like some of these people like this shit for decades. It's like, okay, can you not do that? So you get this, a lot of these people who are just grifters and have these false personas of liking anime. Now, am I like some sort of like brutal purist when it comes to liking anime? Absolutely not. You can be quite a casual watcher, but just don't be that guy that starts dictating what people can and can't watch and trying to say, oh, fuck you, you're an evil person for like watching this anime that has a lolly character in it. That's the biggest fucking thing, is the lolly issue on my part. It's like the most retarded fucking controversy ever. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like they think it's, you're abusing children, even though they're not even fucking real, and a lot of these characters aren't even fucking children. Like, and the brain rot has rotted over so much with the whole lolly thing that anyone who doesn't have tits and who's like young and doesn't have tits, like, a flat-breasted woman, who's got small breasts, that's somehow a child now. Like, the concept of the petite body type just doesn't exist, which is fucking insane. Like, yeah, if you don't have tits or an ass, you're not an adult. You're a child. It's like, oh god, sorry every skinny person ever. Sorry every lanky and skinny person. You're not an adult. You don't deserve adulthood. And that's so fucking stupid, because essentially, what purpose does it serve? It doesn't serve any fucking purpose. I'll tell you what. It doesn't serve any purpose. Does it help kids? No. Does it make the person look good? Not really. Like just take a look at the perspective here. A lot of these people who criticize the whole lolly thing, it's like, you're really wasting your time and energy arguing against this, or saying that, this particular anime is bad, or this particular, character is a terrible character. You should just delete the character. Don't have the character because they're fucking a lolly. Like, come on. Now, again, I'll preface it. Anime's pretty fucking weird, so you get a lot of weird shit. But, that's a part of the fun of it in a lot of ways. Like, you just find some of the weirdest shit and weirdest ideas that come out of God knows where some of these fucking ideas of, like, for example, who fucking thought that was a cool idea? I mean, it's a cool idea, but who would have thought that having an anime about Buddha and Jesus would have been, on your top list of anime to watch? I certainly wouldn't have. Like, fuck me, that's... Who just comes up with that? You want just Buddha and Jesus just to hang out in modern-day Japan? Yeah, that's a smart idea. And they fucking did that. There's an anime of that, and also a manga series. But you also have, the whole race thing. Nagatoro is one of them, where there was this strange, anger with people who got mad that Nagatoro wasn't black for some reason, if I recall correctly. Like, it had something to do for skin color. I don't even fully remember it because of how fucking schizophrenic it was. I think the main thing was about, like, her having a tan skin color and people saying that she was black, And, you know, obviously that makes so fucking sense because she's Japanese. She just has a darker skin tone. Because, you know, people in different regions of a certain place tend to differ in skin tone. And, you know, some people just have naturally different types of skin tone. For example, a lot of gingers are pretty pasty white. Yeah, I mean, that's just how it is. So I think it was a really stupid sort of controversy with that. But I don't even fully remember it because I like memory hold that because it was so fucking stupid. Like you get what I mean? A lot of this stuff is like pointless and stupid shit, where essentially people are just becoming apes and throwing shit at the wall and throwing shit at each other, and like, what's the point? This is annoying. This is pointless. This is wasted energy. I just want to watch my anime and fucking relax. Can you not criticize me constantly? Can you not be the nagging wife on my ass 24/7? Thank you. But obviously you need to gatekeep. Obviously, I'm in the opinion that gatekeeping is not inherently bad. Gatekeeping is a useful tool to get rid of people who just don't give a shit about the, you know, the thing that people love in that community. For example, anime. Like, if these fucking people are just essentially like skin suiting, like doing a full on skin suit and saying, "Oh yes, I like anime, but I don't like everything, including anime. Hence why I want to fundamentally change anime into something completely and totally unrecognizable to suit my taste." It's like, yeah, sure, you're a fucking normie, you just don't give a shit. Can you please go? Fuck off? Yeah, that's what I mean. So, whenever you meet these people, I think it would be a wise idea to keep an eye on them and seeing, like, for example, you could pretty much do like a litmus test on some people. It's just like showing them like some of the most absurd anime. Now, again, everyone has varying tastes. I get that. But, you know, there are some like basic anime tropes that pretty much every anime has that you can show to someone and you just see how they react, and it's like, okay, you're not a genuine fan or just not even interested at all with what this has to offer. You're just a fucking normie who just is hopping on the train, getting on that trend and trying to look cool, look fashionable, because, you know, a lot of these people like to fucking do that for whatever reason. It's stupid, but what can you do? What can you do other than pull out a gun and shoot them? Now don't do that. That was a joke. Or was I? Who knows? Anyways, thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys later.